Traveling in a classic car is a huge adventure. Who knows if it's going to make it? They need constant care and attention, especially when you're off the beaten track or parked in a meter of water. How do you get back on the road again? We've asked Land Rover guru Rob to shine a light on the subject and help us understand the technical side of maintenance and repair.
Is this a problem, this curly stuff?
Is this a problem, this curly stuff?
Lights.
We checked the lights.
The seat belts.
Yes.
We've checked the dash.
Yes.
Checked the battery.
Yes.
We've checked the seat belts on the back.
Yes. Wipers.
Wipers.
Washers.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We've done that.
Mirrors. Not for doing your makeup, darling. So, again, there are a myriad of regulations based on the age of the vehicle and the mirrors. But basically, you should have certainly one exterior mirror on the driver's side. Optionally, one mirror on the passenger side, though at a certain point in time it becomes mandatory. And there should be an interior mirror, a rear view mirror. Again, there are regulations as to having one or not. Okay.
Because if it's closed, if you've got a closed rear door that doesn't have a window, then there's no
then
point
you don't
in
have then you don't have a rear view mirror. It's pointless. However, there are interesting features. For instance, right, my lightweight. Okay, my lightweight doesn't have a roof, doesn't have a windscreen.
It'd be difficult to put a rear view mirror on it.
Doesn't have a roof, doesn't have a windscreen, doesn't have door tops. Okay. However, by law, it must have a rear view mirror.
How do you do that?
Mine is stuck on the dashboard. It's totally useless. I can do my makeup, but by law it must have the rear view mirror. Okay? Because it's not a commercial vehicle.
Did you also see that in a lot of the old classic cars?
Yeah, a lot of the old classic. Yeah, and they've got a little mirror on a stalk that's mounted on the dashboard. That's why you have it.
That's what you've got. You're
Okay.
right.
So, but again, there are rules and regulations that if you have external mirrors and not an internal mirror and so forth, there are a myriad of these sort of rules and regulations. But basically, it's common sense. You've got mirrors. If they're fitted, then the glass hasn't to be scratched, hasn't got to be discoloured, and so forth. Yours are okay. Yeah. But if they're fitted, it has to work. Okay. All right. On the doors, while here, the doors have to work. I know it's a bit obvious, but they actually do have to work. So, when you close it, it has to stay closed, and you should be able to open it, and also be able to open it from the inside. Now that applies to all of the doors. Okay, all right. I don't care if they lock. Okay. In my lightweight, there's no point, but they have to work.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is that that this end has to close correctly, but also the hinges have to be good. And with the Land Rovers, with your hand there, you can lift the door and look for movement on the hinge pins. Because what actually happens is that normally it's down here, this pin rusts. Okay. And in worst case scenario, the pin itself breaks and then it's only held on with one hinge. And again, you know, it's a safety feature.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Does it matter that there's a gap in the door?
Not for me. It only, you know, the door fits, the door holds, therefore it is good. But the fact that there is a gap around it, now, you know, I'm not a big chap, I can't fit through that gap. Okay? So, you know, again, you know, go back to the lightweight, you know, my door ends at that point.
Yes. So you don't have it.
I don't have this part. So, you know, going back to the windscreen thing, by the way, because my vehicle doesn't have a windscreen, that's not a failure for the APK. And my vehicle doesn't have windscreen wipers or windscreen washers.
Do you have goggles that do that?
Actually, I do. But I don't have to have that stuff because I don't have a windscreen.
Okay.
And also, with the series vehicles, there are two pieces of glass in the window.
Yeah?
Yeah. On a series vehicle, you have a strip that runs up the middle.
Okay.
You have a piece of glass that side, you have a piece of glass this side. Okay. So how many windscreen wipers do you need?
Or at least one for the driver's side.
In actual fact, you only need one.
Okay.
Because the piece of glass on this side is not part of the windscreen.
So the windscreen's only the driver's side?
The windscreen is only the piece of glass that is in front of the driver. And if it is two separate pieces of glass, then the one on the passenger side is just a front window. It is not a windscreen.
Okay, that's interesting.
So if you have a series vehicle and only one windscreen wiper works,
Make sure it's on the driver's side.
make sure it's on the driver's side, because the other one is actually irrelevant. Doesn't have to be there.
It's cosmetic.
Yeah, it is bizarre, but it's true. So, and in actual fact, on my Series 1, I only have one windscreen wiper,
Okay.
and the one on the passenger side does not exist.
Okay.
So, again, we'll check the hinge on this side. So,
They should be good. We replaced them last year.
yeah. So, there is a little bit of movement in one of them.
Blue box.
Can you hear it?
Here, you can see it here.
Okay. That's not a failure. You know, it's not hanging off. But there is some movement. Okay.
Is that why the door's skewed?
So,
This door's straight, the other one's skewed.
while we're on this side,
Do you need to worry about rubbers and all that kind of thing?
no, I don't care.
It's just,
That's
safety.
for the APK, for the MOT, that's totally relevant. Okay. All right. The glass. When we go back to series vehicles, then the door tops rot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a well-known problem, and the door top must be securely attached to the vehicle. Okay.
So
Right.
just it away.
So if the pins, because on the series vehicles you have
Yeah.
two pins that come through the bottom of the door that hold it on, all right. And what in actual fact happens, I can't demonstrate, but I can show you roughly. So you've got a two-piece door, all right. Then this piece here, all right. You would be able to hold the door and move that like that on some of the series vehicles.
Yeah.
Or certainly I've owned series vehicles like that. Okay. That then starts getting into the grey area of is it dangerous or is it not? Okay. And again, you kind of think logically that
You don't want it falling off
you don't
while
want it
you're
falling
driving.
out while you're driving. Okay. I have had an experience where I have been round a roundabout, and as I went round back in England, when I went round the roundabout, as I came round that side of the roundabout, that side of the door fell out. Which was embarrassing at the time. So,
Did it cause much damage or injure anyone?
total complete loss on the door top. I had to buy a new one and the glass. But it was one of those jobs that you were going to get round to.
Yeah.
Never did. So fortunately, it didn't hit anything. But if you again think about it, if it had come off at the point of a junction, it would have it can do some damage. So little tip. Obviously, you can replace the door top, or you could take it off, and it would still pass the MOT. However, you've got to think about it again. That it's something that you would need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, check. Okay.
Okay.
While we're down this end, we have a fuel filler cap. Okay. Regulations state that there should be no leaks in the fuel system. Okay. And this is the point of entry, and the fuel filler cap should fit correctly, okay, and it should not leak. I don't see any evidence of leakage, and it does fit, okay.
Because it only leaks when you're on a when you're off-roading extremely.
So there should be no visible sign of leakage. Yeah. Okay.